जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदा नंदन व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीराचारी यमुना तीराचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा राष्ट्र हरे राधा राष्ट्र हरे राधा जय गौरांगी बंगलोरीश्वर गौरांगी बंगलोरीश्वर गौरांगी जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शन जय दक्षिणारश्रम जय अनंत देव कल्याण जय अनंत देव जय नित्य चैतन्य जय नित्य चैतन्य जय नित्य चैतन्य जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव निताय हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरिनाम संकीर्तन जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजाचार्य स्तोत्र शतम His Divine Grace जय भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजाचार्य स्तोत्र शतम His Divine Grace भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय नमाचार्य श्रीदास ठाकुर की जय जय श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीवा गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शरद गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासिदि गौर भक्त की जय जय श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र गोपीनाथ श्याम गिरि गोवर्धन की जय मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय श्री क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, कावेरी माई की जय, भक्ति देव की जय, तुलसी महारानी की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories and glories and glories and glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudinajit Nasta Praishu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiti Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangulangayati Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramanandam Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 29, and text number is 10. Karma niraharam uddeshya parmasmin va tat arpanam yajyad yasya svam iti va pritang bhava satvika. Karma niharam uddeshya parasmin va tat arpanam yajyad yatsvatvam iti va pritang bhava satvika. Karma niharam uddeshya parasim va tad arpanam yajyed yatyasva iti va pritang bhava sasatvika. Word-to-word translation. Karma, fruitive activities. Niharanam, freeing himself from. Uddeshya, with the purpose of. Parasim, to be Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pa, or Tad Arpanam, offering the results of activities. Yajed, many worship. Yastavyam, to be worshipped. Iti, thus. Va, or Pratak Bhava, separatist. Sa, he. Satvika, in the mode of goodness. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. When a devotee worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offers the results of his activities in order to free himself from the inabilities of fruitive activities, his devotion is to be in the mode of goodness. Purport. The Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudras, along with the Brahmacharis, Grahasthas, Vanaprasthas, and Sannyasis, are the members of the 8 divisions of Varna and Ashrama, and they have their respective duties to perform for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When such activities are performed and the results are offered to the Supreme Lord, they are called Karmarapanam. Duties performed in the satisfaction of the Lord. If there is any inability or fault, it is atoned by his offering process. But if this offering process is in the mode of goodness rather than in pure devotion, then the interest is different. The 4 ashramas and the 4 varnas act for some benefit in accordance to their personal interests. Therefore, such activities are in the mode of goodness. They cannot be counted in the category of pro-devotion. Pure devotional service, as described by Rupa Goswami, is free from all material desires. Anya Bishata Shunyam. Anya Bila Ilashita Sunyam. I'm sorry. There can be no excuse for personal or material interest. Devotional service should be transcendental to the fruitive activities and empiric philosophical speculation. Pure devotional service is transcendental to all material qualities. Devotional service in the mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness can be divided into 81 categories. There are different devotional activities such as hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, offering prayers, rendering services, and surrendering everything. And each of them can be divided into 3 qualitative categories. There is hearing in the mode of passion, in the mode of ignorance, and in the mode of goodness. Similarly, there is chanting in the mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness, etc. 3 multiplied by 9 equals 27. And when again multiplied by 3, it becomes 81. One has to transcend all such mixed materialistic devotional service in order to reach the standard of the pure devotional service as explained in the next verse. Om Tat Sat. That ends the Bhaktivedanta purport, Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter number 29. Chapter is called Explanation of the Devotional Service by Lord Kapila. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshururmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Raghunatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome all the devotees to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam discussion, and we are discussing from the 29th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, where earlier we have seen that Lord Kapila is instructing Mother Devahuti. Just to give you a little recap, Kardam Muni yesterday was explained very well by the Bhagavatam speaker yesterday about how Kardam Muni wanted to fulfill the desires of his Guru Maharaj, Brahma. And that is where he prays, he continuously goes on offering his meditation at the lotus feet of the Lord. And when the Lord arrives, what does he say? He says, I'm doing it for the satisfaction of my Guru. And whatever is the desire of my Guru, so be it complete. And we all see that Kardam Muni was a sannyasi, a dedicated devotee of the Lord. He says, whatever is the desire of my father, because his father wanted him to procreate in the sense of expansion, in the expansion of the parampara. So he says, whatever my father, my spiritual father likes, my Guru wants, that is what I want to do. And then he prays, and then appropriately, Mother Devahuti also comes forward and gets married to Kardam Muni. And Kardam Muni continues his prayers of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when Kardam Muni is breaking all the preparations at his ashram, Mother Devahuti is actually assisting him in doing everything that is required to be done. She is, making the preparations in the ashram. She's making the preparations for the homa, yajna. She's also taking care of all the other devotees who are there in the ashram. Born in a royal family, coming into an ashram and doing all the services, a very big surprise. There at the palace, in the royal family, you would always have the dasis who would assist her in, taking care of whatever is her requirement. She would be taking care of everything. She need not even move one thing from here to there. She may not even get up to do anything. Everything would be followed by instructions there. But when she gets married to Kardam Muni and she enters into the ashram of Kardam Muni, she starts doing everything all by herself. She doesn't have dasis there. She doesn't have assistants there. She doesn't have any secretaries there. So here she's doing everything all by herself, cleaning the place, ensuring that the preparations for the homa is kept, the bhoga, cooking, the offering, and then serving the devotees who are there in the ashram. So here we see that a dedicated wife becomes equally important for one to progress in the spiritual life. And likewise, from whatever varna the wife is coming or the husband is coming, it is their eternal responsibility to come together and serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when they serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, their end result or the desired success is achieved, which is Krishna Prema. So here we see after that, Kardam Muni, continues his services in the ashram, and Mother Devahuti desires to have a procreation. She desires to have a child. But Kardam Muni tells her very clearly, saying that the day the child is born, I would leave the ashram and go away from here into the forest and continue my service to the Lord. Likewise, he did so. When Lord Kapila was born, he immediately left his house and proceeded towards the ashram of, he proceeded towards the forest. And then Mother Devahuti brings up the little baby Kapila, Lord Kapila. He grows, and as he grows, he's given all the knowledge. And one fine day we see, after all the knowledge acquisition that Lord Kapila has done, he is instructing his Mother Devahuti. And Mother Devahuti, we always say, who are our first gurus? First gurus are our parents, mother and father. They are our first gurus. And here, on the other side, when Mother Devahuti is given all the knowledge to Lord Kapila, one fine day, she also accepts Lord Kapila as his own guru, because he is guiding her in the spiritual life. And she doesn't tell him that, oh, you're my son. Whatever I've thought you're speaking, so I know whatever you're speaking. No, she gave him a patient hearing. Very, very nicely she heard whatever instructions have been given by Kapila Muni. And Lord Kapila, here in this chapter, 29 chapter, speaks about the devotional service, as to how devotional service has to be carried on, what are the activities that one needs to be doing in devotional service, what are the different types of devotional service one can do, and likewise. Yeah. And in yesterday's class, we heard that the service to the Guru is the highest, and things can be done as he directs, his Guru directs ultimately towards Krishna. So, whatever are the instructions of a Guru we follow, those are the instructions of the Parampara, and the Parampara instructions are the instructions which are ultimately the instructions of Krishna. So we are directly or indirectly serving Krishna, the words of Krishna, and we are following the instructions of Krishna. So in case, if somebody does not want a guru, many times we see people in this material world saying that I am my guru. I have no guru. I have got all the knowledge. No, it doesn't work that way. Evam parampara praptam. Knowledge has to come from disciplic succession, and that's the only way of getting knowledge. Somebody says, I can read some book at random and then become a devotee. Become a guru. That is also wrong. In these days, we see there are many gurus who say they don't have a guru. If somebody says, I don't have a guru, I'm a guru myself, then he's a bogus guru. He's not a genuine guru at all. So the instructions of Krishna comes in parampara, and that is how one becomes guru and liberates his disciples. And in the last 3 verses that we have seen, and including this verse that we're going to see, is how Lord Kapila is describing the devotional service and the devotional service which are in the mixed form, mixed with mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. What is pure devotional service? Srila Prabhupada describes what is pure devotional service. It is something which is not touched by the modes of material nature and is free from ignorance, passion, and goodness. Yeah, what makes devotional service mixed? In the 8th verse, we say Bhinnadrik, Pritak Bhava. That is what Pritak Bhava we see in this verse. In the last line, you see Pritak Bhava. One second, let me share the screen so you can see it. Yeah, this you see, it is saying Pritak Bhava. What does Pritak Bhava means? Separatist. What is separatist? In yesterday's class, this was a question which was asked to Bhagavatam speaker. Pritak Bhava is something which is not in line, or it is not aligned to the interest of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or it is different from the interest of Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's called separatist or Pritak Bhava. So here we see that in this verse also this word is used as Pritak Bhava. Pritak Bhava means a separatist idea that my interest is different and it is other than that of the Lord. When you have a common interest, that is the best thing to happen. Whatever the Lord wants, I will do. And as we see, tamasic a person who is violent, who's envious, who's angry, who's proud, it's too individualistic. And there's difference between individuality and independence. Individuality means each jiva is individual, but that's not independence. Each jiva is individual. All of us are individual living entities, but we have no independence. We are part and parcel of Krishna. Okay. And that part and parcel should be detailed in the service of the Lord. Individuality in the material world is like the false ego. It exemplifies I, me, myself, that feeling. And that fruitive mentality comes, when I do something, I should get something in return. I do something only for something in return. And that is how the working happens. The next type of separatist is a person who's worshipping or who is in the devotional service in the mode of passion. First one is what we saw as mode of ignorance. And this one, the second one is in the mode of passion. There is a transactional attitude. What is happening here is I come to the temple so that I get this. I'll come every year in the morning and I will put 10 rupees in the hundi. I should get 100 rupees during the day. So that's the transactional attitude. I'm giving you something, so I should get something in return. Yeah. So they ask, what am I going to get in return? What is in for me? This is a very popular saying in today in materialistic world. We always see people asking, what is in for me? What is the benefit that I'm going to draw by doing something? So that is the next type of separatist. That is the worship of devotional service in the mode of passion. Mode of goodness, the third type of worship is when a devotee is in the material world, is continuously battered by the material nature. He goes through so many challenges, so many difficulties, all the problems that he sees. We all know material world is dukhalayam ashashvatam. It is not a permanent place. At the same time, it is a place of miseries. So it is dukhalayam ashashvatam. When this person is in the material world, he is continuously battered by the material nature. At the same time, he still desires liberation from the material energy. He says, yes, I want to go back home. He wants liberation from the material energy. But this is not a pure devotional service. Please understand. This is not pure devotional service. It is the intention for devotional service. He has a nature wherein he says, I would intend to be a devotee. There are personal intentions also in all the modes. May not, it says, my need should be taken care by me. I, me, myself. So what is pure devotional service? Pure devotional service is something which is not done with any personal intentions. It is done with the intentions to please the Supreme Lord. Okay? It is very simple. People say, I'm doing devotional service. What is devotional service? Or what is Shuddha Sattva? What is pure devotional service? It is not done with any personal intentions at all. I want something, I will get something, I will do something. No, that's not the intention at all. It is done with the intentions to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whatever action that I do, whatever I, things that I do, whatever workings that I do is with only one intention, to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is called pure devotional service. Obviously, realistically, when you see there is love, there is no motivation. And if there is no motivation at all, then why will there be love? And a sadhaka is a person whose devotional service is still woken up. It's not completely woken up. He comes to the temple, he sees the beautiful form of the Lord, honors prasadam. He's still a sadhaka. His devotional service is not yet woken up. It needs to be moved, it needs to be shaken up to be woken up. How can I understand to be motivated to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Maybe the next question that we may have. Okay, and that's why it is said a sadhaka starts by pleasing the spiritual master. We have no capacity to, be motivated to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. So the easiest way is to please our spiritual master who's available with us, who's somewhere around with us, whom you can be connected with. So why does a sadhaka require to perform devotional service? It is for self-protection. No, it is for a self-purification. It is not liberation. He's doing only this for getting purified. He doesn't want to get this devotional service that he's performing is not for direct liberation. He's only performing this for purification. Because if self-purification is there, then he can perform pure devotional service. And under the instructions of a spiritual master, he can do this devotional service. And then, how do we purify to do pure devotional service? So that's the starting stage where he starts self-purification and then moves ahead to do pure devotional service. How does it happen? It happens by the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because Supreme Personality of Godhead is pure, we also become pure. Pure in knowledge, pure in existence, pure in devotional service, pure in activities, anandam. Pure. Chanting, again, in the modes of passion, ignorance, of goodness. So devotional service begins with chanting. So many times we ask this question, a lot of people ask you, why do you chant? You chant japa, right? Why do you chant? What am I doing? Many times devotees also have this question saying that why do I have to chant japa? If there's no intention, we cannot have any attention. Please underline this. If we don't have intention to get connected with the Lord, we will not have any attention span at all. And what kind of an attention? It can be even furtive also. It can be explorative. And when there is self-interest, or when there is, something, that's bothering you with only self-acquisition or self-interest, there is no attention. So what is the intention that one should have? One should not have any personal intentions. That is what it has been spoken in the last 3 verses. Kapila Muni is very clearly driving home this point. We should not have this intention or mindset of Bhinnadrik, separatist, the wish that I will exist until the mercy. It's a separatist wish. And the separatist will or wish will continue to exist until you get the mercy of Guru and Krishna. We are all qualitatively one, like Krishna, but quantitatively we have no comparison. Krishna is Vibhu, we are only Anu, small portion of it. And when we don't have a separate interest, then it is the interest of the Lord. Then you start saying, I exist for the Lord. I have no existence separate from the Lord. It is only for the Lord. Any other interest is all completely Maya, like false ego, illusion. It is not truth. It is this one very small thing that we call it as false ego, which actually separates the soul from Krishna. The difference is very small between false ego and real ego. False ego says, I, me, myself, I am the one doer, I am the one enjoyer. And this is what keeps us away from Krishna. And when one has the real ego, and what is the real ego? The real ego is, I'm the servant of Krishna. And material world is constitutionally that we are the Amsha in the material world. Body is absolutely anytime incomplete. It is never complete. We always say, if I get this, I'll be happy. And I'll be complete. But you'll never get complete. You say, if I get 10,000 rupees, I'll be complete. But once you get 10,000, then the desire goes up. And you say, I should have a lakh of rupees. And then you say, I need 10 lakhs. Likewise, the desire never gets completed. So you'll never get complete. You'll never be happy. But if we get this knowledge that I am the Amsha, I am the part and parcel of Krishna, and constantly the living entity should try for completeness of existence by saying that I'm part and parcel of the whole. And when he is complete, I will also be complete. And one can become complete only when one links himself to Krishna. Because Krishna is Purna. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnasya, Purnamadaya. He is complete. Krishna has no doubt that he is incomplete. He is complete. And when we, as part and parcel, we are linked with Krishna, then we also become complete. And when we try to connect our Sat, Chit and Ananda with the Supreme Lord, it is not possible because we are connecting with the material tinge. And we will never be happy or be connected, and our desire will never be satiated. So it is important that one needs to connect with the Lord without any material tinge of desire. One should think that, whatever is the desire of the Lord is my desire. Whatever is his will is my desire, my will. And how do we understand that? The question here will be that we are not interacting with the Lord face to face. Yes, we have no qualities to, or we don't have qualification to have face-to-face conversation with the Lord. So in such a case, it is done through our spiritual master, our guru. And when somebody is asking you, why are you doing the japa? Then the answer should be to associate with the Lord. What do we do when we take our chanting beads and then chant the holy name of the Lord? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There are two things that are happening. You're actually connecting your tongue to the Lord and you're connecting your ears to the Lord. The tongue is speaking the holy name of the Lord and the ears are hearing the holy name of the Lord. And this is, when we chant japa, it is to associate with the Lord. It is to complete myself. It is my constitutional completeness. And then I achieve it to the Lord. But when I do devotional service of being with the power, then it is mixed devotional service. Karma Mishrit. I want to be a position in the society, and still I want to do devotional service. I show devotional service to the society saying that I'm doing devotional service. That is where. That is karma mishran. And from intentions, desire comes. And that is why you see people talking about doing, people are being asked to do that karma yoga. It is ultimately, it's the desiring activities of the living entities. What does the living entity desire? Does he want to be independent of Krishna? Does he want to associate with the Lord? Does he want to serve the Lord? And whatever seva that he's doing, he needs to dovetail it. And it should be pure. There cannot be any material tinge, or there cannot be any expectation of material returns. The biggest returns that one can look from the holy name of the Lord is associating with the Lord himself and to complete ourselves. And we are always asking, asking the Lord, engage me in your service. When we chant the holy name, we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Why do we say that? What do we say? Oh Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, please engage me in your service. Oh Radharani, the energy of the Lord. Oh Rama, the energy of the Lord, please engage me in your service. Hare, please engage me in your service. And this is done on the orders of the Guru. You're chanting with great attention, nicely, and to purify yourself. And you're doing this to do devotional service. So one needs to understand from the shloka that we discussed at length today, and also the last two shlokas that we've been discussing, that one should rise above the modes of material nature. Which are the three modes of material nature that we discussed? Ignorance, passion, and goodness. One needs to rise even beyond goodness. One needs to get into Shuddha Sattva to get the pure devotional service, or to get that rasa, or to get that association of the Lord, to get that purification. We are all sadhakas. And we have to perform our devotional service for purification, not for liberation. You can't ask for liberation in the beginning. You ask for purification. And by default, once the devotional service comes to you, once the purification happens in you, devotional service will come to you. And it can easily be crossed over the material nature. But nevertheless, the intention has to be very, very clear. Intention is very realistic, that I have to only love Krishna. There should not be any other motivation. Motivation like a big house, a big bungalow, a big car, or a happy family, children. No. There should be zero motivation, or there should be zero personal motivation or personal intentions behind it. The intentions are the most important things behind this. So one needs to perform here. Kapila Muni or Kapil Dev is talking about how one should be away from Pritaka Bhava. Pritaka Bhava means separatist, attitude of separatist. I'm doing it for myself. I want my family to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be peaceful. And that is why I'm doing it. But the Lord has a different plan. The Lord wants you to come back home, back to Godhead. He's guiding you. And when he's guiding you, he's expecting you to come back home, back to Godhead, to his original abode. But then we are thinking in a different direction. It's like, you're driving the car. Yeah, you're the owner of the car. And your driver is driving, I'm sorry. You're the owner of the car and the driver is driving your car. You want to go to direction A, but your driver is taking you to direction B. Will you like it? You will not like it. You're guiding him, saying that take a left turn and this is the road that we have to go, but your driver is still taking you to the right side. So this is where the difference is. We have to offer every activity or every activities result, tad arpanam. Tad arpanam is whatever is the result of the activities that we do. Whatever my worship that I do, whatever I have to do, so that way, if we really look at it, one can move into the mode of Shuddha Sattva, when he starts offering everything without having a separatist nature. And one needs to raise above the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. That is the most important part of a devotee's life. And we have to dovetail everything in the service of the Lord and ensure that whatever we do is without any personal motivation or intention. Yeah. So just read the translation once again. When a devotee worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offers the results of his activities in order to free himself from the inabilities of fruitive activities, his devotion is in the mode of goodness. Yeah. So very nicely explained by Srila Prabhupada, saying that, and finally also says that there are 81 type of, where is it? Let me read. Says, one has to transcend all such mixed materialistic devotional service in order to reach the standard of pure devotional service, as explained in the next verse. So tomorrow we're going to discuss that verse, which is going to talk about the pure devotional service. But here very clearly, Srila Prabhupada in his purport says that, we should be free from all material desires. Rupa Goswami also describes that anya bhilashita shunyam. Free from all material desires. There cannot be excuse for any personal or material interest. And devotional service should be transcendental to fruitive activities and empiric philosophical speculation. Devotional service is transcendental to all material qualities. Yeah. So we will end our conversation here. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them. Or if you have any observations, I'll be happy to accept them. Well, if there are no questions, then we will end our conversation here today. We'll end the Srimad Bhagavatam discussion on this. Thank you very much for joining this morning. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyayocha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. Ananta Kodi Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai.